The Honorable Mthethwa.
Thank you, Chair.
I'm asking you.
Thank you, finally, Chair. And I'm shaken by the fact that the panel member has declared knowing me. I don't know whether it is conflict of interest on my side or what. But be that as it may, I just want to start by addressing one issue. Deputy Minister, you seem to be very despondent. Very despondent. And I want to apologize. Indeed, when you are here in the absence of the minister, you're acting as a minister. You take the position of the minister. And the custom in this committee is that the minister always is given the opportunity to make opening remarks and to see that you are not given such respect, or rather same status with the minister, the respect that you deserve. It puzzles me, it disheartens me, but deeper than that, I see or feel that you're not getting support. CIC said to you in one of his statements that take your rightful place. I want to ask a direct question. Do you find yourself, for instance, even the regulation doesn't afford the deputy minister any responsibility in terms of these appointments of, so she can't answer to this because the regulation says the minister, it doesn't say the deputy minister, the minister or deputy minister. So it's something that we need to deal with, also to look into in terms of those regulations, that why do you have a deputy minister who is just like, she is just like a shadow of the minister. Even maybe the department staff members are treating her in such a manner. So on behalf of the portfolio committee, I want to apologize. It is not out of disrespect. That is why maybe you reacted the way you reacted yesterday. And I understood from that perspective. Can you confirm that, Deputy Minister, do you have support from your department? That's my first question.
No comment.
Thanks, Chair. Let me come to I would want to concur with the members who are constantly saying the department seems not to understand the sector it is serving. It is very clear. From the presentation, it shows that you don't have plans because it's a crisis management approach. Oh, this has happened. Oh, sorry, this must have. Oh, no, we didn't know. The department has been there for over 30 years now. You can't be still grappling with the issues of how you deal, how you communicate with the sector. Having said that, Madam Deputy Director, responsible, what qualifications did you have to produce in order to get the position that you are in?
I think in the advert I needed to be a graduate, of which I am. I'm a Wits University drama graduate. I needed to have experience in the arts, of which I did because I was in local government for 10 years working in the same sector. Yes, I think coming into a deputy director level, those were the key ones.
Have you participated? Do you have apparent experience of being an artist or actor or something?
From day one, Chair, I was in the behind the scene. My ambition back in the day was to be a film writer and director. And before joining the city of Tshwane, I was in the sector. Actually, my first job was back in the day with the live shows of Your TV. So I did work in the sector before joining city of Tshwane.
Okay, but you seem to be lacking the understanding of the sector that you serve. because even the DG shows in her face when you are responding to questions that you seem not to be understanding even the questions that are asked. You are not answering them according to, in view of you having participated in the sector. You seem not to be understanding. You seem to be very lost and more of an administrator than anything. But be that as it may, I want to ask Unat, what qualifications do you have? Just qualifications, nothing much.
Sorry, I have a master's of law in entertainment law
Okay, and you are also a
and a
conductor.
orchestral conductor, pianist, and a cellist. Thank you.
Ms. Mugoma, what qualifications do you have?
BA drama at UCT, and I went on to do my honors, went on to study in Italy, France, and I have senior certificates and diplomas in the arts. So I did about 9 qualifications.
Thanks. Lele, too, what is your qualification?
I have an LLB degree and I'm a self-trained poet.
Okay. Mr. Mulif, what qualification do you have? Mr. Mulefe, from the panel, what qualifications do you have?
Unmute, Mr. Mulefe.
Mr. Mulefe,
Yes, honorable member.
what qualifications do you have?
I do have different certification in different sectors.
What qualifications do you have?
Youth development practitioner.
Is that a qualification? Is that an academic qualification?
When I was appointed, I was not asked about being an academic.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that you were supposed to have a qualification. I want to take you through the understanding of the sector that you are dealing with.
No.
No, I want to take, please relax. You spoke about SITA qualifications. First and foremost, your presentation contradicts even what the DG is saying. The DG says the responsibility of the panel is to go through the project plans, not verification of anything. So I would wonder, how did you find out whether certain individuals had SITA qualifications, certifications or not?
Will I respond?
Yes, you can respond.
Okay, no, honorable member, we didn't, all what I was explaining, we didn't do a vetting of whether someone have a SITA qualification. All what we stood to was to say the guidelines says there must not be any training or workshops. And the background of that decision is because in the past, there were approvals that were done of giving people workshop and training funding when those people were not literally SITA accredited institutions and they were not able to have the capacity to train. So generally, what I was responding to.
No, thank you. Thank you for that answer. I think I'm satisfied with the answer. So I want to find out whether are you now changing your statement that there was no reason for anyone to be vetted. There was no vetting for anyone, whether they are SITA certified or not. So whatever statement that you made earlier on, it is no longer the statement you are making now.
No, you see the problem, what I'm raising, honorable member. Maybe I might not be understanding your question or your input, or you might not be understanding my input.
Let me clarify why the honorable member asked that question. He's asking a direct question to ascertain the experience and expertise which is crucial for us for this discussion. That is the reason why the member asked the question. As I have earlier referred to, we are concerned about processes.
Yes. The Honorable Chair, what I'm explaining to the member, to the Honorable member, is that the guideline says no training, no workshop. So our task was to go through what is written in the content of the proposal. If it says we are going to do training or we are going to do workshop, we will not be able to. It means if we approve it, it's outside the guideline. But if we don't, and the base, and when we had to go, or when we had to get clarity on the guidelines that we received, the issue was that the department was that its view was that training and workshop must be done with relevant institutions, and the department have its own different program that deals with training and workshops. Ours is to make sure that we focus a lot on job creation opportunity, because this program falls under the jobs program of the government. So
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I rest my case on that one, because even when the issue of accreditation, SETA accreditation, was asked by another member, your chairperson referred the responsibility to respond to that question to you, because he heard that you are the one who raised the issue of accreditation. But suddenly you seem to have developed amnesia on what you said. You raised the issue of accreditation based on the fact that some members were disqualified because their projects could not be funded because they did not have SETA accreditation. That was the context. But it's okay. We can't debate it. I'm not inviting a debate. I said it's okay. It's okay. We're passing. Tell me. I just want to show you that the lack of understanding of the sector that you are dealing with, the people that you are dealing with, it's very important to know who you're dealing with, so that you are able to address the services that you provide. If you don't understand the people and the audience of the target market that you're dealing with, you will not provide proper services. One, I don't know what the qualifications one would require to hold a workshop, first and foremost. I really don't know what accreditation you would require to hold a workshop. Workshops are part of the ecosystem that helps people to develop further, so that they can then get jobs with the knowledge that they have accumulated. So you are talking about jobs, and MGE was never a job creation allocation. The duplication that you are actually engaged in, or maybe let me deal with the issue of qualifications. I wonder, what qualifications do you think Stimela, Lucky Dube, Lady Smith had? What qualifications did Gibson Kenter had? He produced Mbongeni Gema, one of the best. So if these workshops are not funded, how would people like Gibson Kenter could have produced the Mbongeni? You don't understand the sector that you're dealing with.
Honorable Penny Pay is also an example.
Yes.
And he's successful.
Yes, exactly. Dr. Joseph Shabalala was a professor and lecturing at the University of California in Berkeley. It is called Berkeley, the university. Lecturing with no formal education. The problem of our government and what the process is that you always want these academic qualifications that don't make any sense because you don't have the apparent experience. I'm just passing with that. You have MGE, which is now said to be job creation. You have NEF, venture capital. This is the same department. We're still waiting for the report on what did you do with the 50 million that you gave to NEF for youth development. I still want to see youth companies that have not flourished from that 50 million. Still waiting for that. You have IDC, Social Employment Fund. You have NAC, Social Employment Fund. You have PESP. These are for jobs, but people don't have jobs. People don't have jobs. So it is not surprising that when you talk of the open call, you have 152. How much budget did you have for the open call? Just the open call. So that we can be able to divide it into 152 and see how many people benefit. How much did they get?
109.
For the open call, not the MGE, because you are hiding behind the overall budget of the for the open call.
Yeah.
And 152 people got funded. I think we need a forensic on that one. I think so, Chair. I'm not going to ask further questions on that one. That one just calls for a forensic. You have Living Legends program. Another one that is lost because you don't understand the people that you're working with. You adapted this direct from the United States without any adaptation, without understanding the material conditions of our people in the country, not taking into cognizance the poverty, the everything that says people will not reach to 70. Not many would reach to 70. Ray Peter, when he died, he was 71. He was 70 actually. He had just reached 70. So he couldn't contribute on the. So there's this notion that we want to do, but we don't want. We want to do, we just want to tick the boxes. Okay. Again, on the issue of not understanding the people you are dealing with, you do this open call, and part of the application, one must give a project plan. Okay? On this date, this is what's going to be happening. On this date, this is what. What you don't understand is that if I'm doing a performance event, I must book artists, pay deposit to secure that date. Where do the people get the money whilst you're dilly-dallying and going and changing dates and going back and doing this? This is the challenges that she was talking about, that you did not, in your report, it doesn't highlight those things, that there are people who have booked venues, who might book venues, book service providers with their own money. When you ultimately fund them, they've lost the deposits that they didn't have because now they had to change dates, and some service providers don't give them back the money. Artists will hold the deposit. If you come at 11th hour and say, I'm canceling, I'm changing the date, the money is gone. And when you give the funding, you want to dictate how much you want to give. Who informs you that instead of 2 million is 1.2? You speak with so much smile about that. When you are earning the problem is that once you are dilly-dallying and doing all these things, you are earning your salary. Your salary doesn't get also adjusted according to the work that you are doing. When you change dates, then you must earn on at the end of that delivery. You don't have those challenges. Now, Deputy Minister, Chair, we are in an era which I term postmodern cultural colonization. We have moved from political exclusion into systemic exclusion. That's why I was giving that background. And systemic exclusion is defined as repeated, structured process by which specific groups are denied access to resources, opportunities, or participation due to embedded policies, practices, and societal structures. Rather than isolated incidents of individual prejudice, it can be pervasive, and often unintentional, affecting areas like education, employment, and access to social benefits, leading to persistent disparities. You are not closing the gap, you are increasing the gap. You are not addressing the imbalances, you are increasing the imbalances. I'm defining now, you have killed the sector.
Yes.
You say people must submit physically. Eastern Cape has got distances between the towns. Gqeberha, Port Elizabeth to East London, it's about 230 kilometers to 250. East London to Mthethwa, Mthethwa to East London is about 228 to 235 k's. Makhanda to East London is about roughly 163 to 180 kilometers. Which one? Do I buy data that I cannot afford, or do I walk 160 kilometers to go and submit? Systemic exclusion. We know that many people have no access to internet. So even when you open digitally, you are not making much effort to do things. There are schools, there are post offices that belong to government where you could say submit to the post office. Schools under the Department of Education that can be used as a point of contact. But you are so lazy, you are sitting in the post offices and just instructing, coming here with sanitized reports. That time is over. That time is over. DG, I want to repeat it again. Lying to Parliament is a statutory offense. Chair, we need to now follow up these statutory offenses and start opening cases against people. We need to start now following up. I'm tired of us sitting and coming up with the report and recommendations that are not carried out. DG, I've asked you a number of times here, saying the cluster meetings, that was not the sector attending. How can you make sure that everybody represented in those clusters were from the sectors? Today we are told that that meeting was an ambush of members who were just randomly invited and then declared as the industry. I've been in this industry for long enough to know that department doesn't have a database that represents everybody. It was during the apartheid era when we had a diary, a directory that had everybody in terms of who is, what skills are. Now you might even end up with people who are not even from those clusters who are saying we are leading these clusters. You have organizations today that are sitting here who are participating in that. What are you doing? I told you I want you against it. I want the minister against it. It's a fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Because these clusters, you are now erasing, you are actually duplicating what SIFSA was supposed to do that it failed to do. Organizing sectors and subsectors. And you've already issued a budget. If I don't know whether you have already even given the clusters the budget. Very quick at things that don't make sense, that we did not approve, even us as a committee. We never discussed those issues. We never discussed. You lied again as the department that you have released all the funding. All the calls the funding has been distributed. NAC only did one call, which is not yet even evaluated, and the outcomes are still coming on the 1st of October. But yet you said these have already happened. Presidential employment stimulus package, not yet announced. NLC 3-year annual call, not announced. NFVF also have never announced. PSP call will only be coming in September. What is it that you are reporting to us with these AKPs, that the picture that you are painting that is so beautiful? What is it? Let me come to the questions in terms of this report.
You have 3 minutes on the
presentation. You said you released And I want to show you how you prioritize international things more than the locals. You say in this revised 2025 open call, all CCIP applicants were advised to reapply based on the revised criteria. However, touring ventures results were announced to accommodate those who had already secured international platforms. International platforms, that's what you prioritized. Let me come to Mr. Simon Molef. Mr. Molef. Mr. Molef, did you say that there are no people that were funded who are friends? I want to find out from you, Mr. Molef, did you sit and preside or rather adjudicate on an application by a friend from your own area and from your own branch of the NC?
I don't have a friend who's an artist. I have people different in my own area, in the region, in the province who have applied.
And did you declare your relationship with them?
When we start in the panel, every time we're given forms, if you have a friend or a relative that you have applied, then I don't think so that I have a friend or a relative who's closer to me.
The question is, did you declare?
I don't have a friend.
Do you know Mr. Thobela Dlamini? How do you know him?
Mr. Thobela Dlamini has been in the industry for many years. Like I've known you, you have been in the industry for many years. So I've known him for many years, and that's how we know each other. And he's not my friend.
If I were to propose that or request that a Section 205 be done on both your cell phones, I wouldn't find any communication between you, a friendly communication between you and Thobela Dlamini.
You can request.
No, I'm asking a question. Please, I need you to confirm that we will not find anything between you, meaning that Thobela Dlamini, you don't know him as a friend, nor as a comrade. Mr. Mthethwa's issue.
No, I know him as a comrade. He's in Hot 7, I'm in Hot 8. We don't stay in the same branch.
But still, you adjudicated on his application.
Like I would have done to any other person that I know.
And you didn't declare?
They are not my friend. The process says, because if I have to declare that I know somebody, it means everybody that I know I must not participate in.
I'm specific about Thobela Dlamini. I didn't say how many other people. I'm saying Thobela Dlamini applied, and you are the one who advocated on his personal application without you saying, recusing yourself from the process to say, no, this one I can't because I know him, which is a decent thing that you could have done.
He's not my friend. He's not my...
He's your comrade.
We are in the ANC together. I'm sure you were also my comrade before.
No, I'm asking about Thobela, not me. I haven't done any application.
Also referring the truth to you, because how do you think that people can be in the same organization, don't know each other? I mean, to be honest, honorable members, we need to be fair to ourselves. I have a constitutional right to participate, to be a member. I have a constitutional right to be given a task by this country. And all I have to do,
you have a constitutional right to recuse yourself or excuse yourself from when you see an application from somebody that you know that close as a comrade. You have a responsibility, constitutional responsibility.
It's not close to me. It's not close to me. Somebody who's close to you. It's somebody that you go as friends, your families meet together, you do this together. He's in the taxi industry. He's doing different things. He's in another
You
ward.
know him. You know him very well. If you know that he's also in the taxi industry, it means that you know him. But no further questions, Mr.
Exactly, like I know you. You are,
No
you are, you
further
are a former,
question, Mr.
you are a former
Olive.
member of the ANC. You also received
Thank you. Thank you,
an
Mr.
assistance
Molefe.
from MGE before.
No
I know
further
that thing.
question. No
Exactly.
further question.
Thank you, Mr. Molefe. Thank you, Honorable Member. The
No,
department for a response, and then after the response, I will invite Honorable Mutambi.
What about me, Chair?
No further questions, Mr. Molefe.
Chairperson, I come after Honorable Kovani, please, in that order.
Okay, thanks. Department.
No, thank you very much to the honourable member. I think as he indicated, he started off with a whole lot of remarks around the performance of the department. The reference was made to a forensic investigation. Should I go on, Chair?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay. A forensic investigation required from MGE. I think we would appreciate that if it is done. It would be, I think, for us welcomed. The Living Legends program, yes, it started off some time back, a few years back, and at this point in time, it has been reshaped into what is referred to as a Fantuka Af program, which is actually being done quite publicly. With the last one, that was about the recognition of Mama Abigail Gubega, and it continues like that as a Fantuka Af program. The departments take too long to respond. People end up not having any budget to be able to continue with their program. Yes, we do take note of that, and as we have indicated, we are looking at ways and means. I did talk about the issue of pursuing the use of the GMS and other options that we are pursuing to continuously improve. I think there is been a repeat around the issue of the department is killing the industry. We take a note of that, but we do assure the honourable member that we are not sanitizing our reports. Our reports are reflective of the as is. Cluster meetings and we as a department lying. Yes, we do know the law around the issue of lying to Parliament. In terms of any of the statements that we have made, specifically with the issue of how the process that led to the establishment of clusters unfolded, I still stand by that, Chairperson, through you. There was a post-pirate that was called identification. The honourable member does also say there is no database. Yes, indeed, there is no database of the industry. So we utilize the information that was at our disposal in terms of identification of the industry in the post-pirate. And we continue to actually do that, working through the 17 clusters to move towards the formalization of the process. What we are doing is a duplication of what SIPSA failed to do, and indeed, Honourable Member, it then further confirms a need for the department to have intervened and come up with this cluster approach. And this particular approach is actually confirmed and if you look at the revised white paper, sections 4.3 and 5.6, it talks about the intervention that the department needs to look at in terms of sector targeting. It talks about the issue of the classification. If you look at the UNESCO classification, because I have answered you like that even before, that we used in terms of looking at the cultural domains and the subsectors that are actually within those particular cultural domains. It's not a process, Honourable Member, that it's still, or it's not moving. As I said, it started at 16. We are sitting at 17 clusters. And as we grow and develop this particular program, who knows, the number of clusters might grow. However, the issue of sector targeting, we believe as a department is a right move. We are talking directly to the sectors instead of talking to other people that are representing a particular discipline. We have given platforms to specifically, if we can make an example, designers in their clusters, visual artists in their clusters, crafters, authors, etc. And that's the approach that has been received quite overwhelmingly by the people that we are working with within the clusters. It's not the intention of the department to silence anyone, honorable member, in terms of this, but it is to open up the process in such a way that those that are sitting within the clusters are able to have representation. And it's been consistently indicated that the boards that have actually been set up are boards that are referred to as interim boards that allow the commencement of the program that we are hoping to continuously improve on as it goes. You were very quick to pay these clusters. Indeed, honorable member, we wanted to enable these clusters to begin to function, but unfortunately, we've not been able to pay all of them. And it's solely because the process that we actually followed in terms of each of these 17 clusters involved them, first of all, submitting documentation that indicates that they have duly actually been registered and established, which is why we also appointed legal teams that are working with them, 4 teams, 4 legal companies that are working with them, where we have clustered these into 4 for each of the legal companies, because we are trying our best, honorable member, to make sure that we don't have a repeat of the mistakes and errors that have happened in the past. At this point in time, 9 out of the 17 clusters have indeed been paid, and the work that they are actually doing currently, those 9 that have been paid, is quite visible. We are trying our best to be very open in communicating what they are doing, including the appointment of a marketing and branding company that we have brought on board to try and communicate even more around the work that each of the clusters are doing. And the information is quite publicly shared as well. Honorable member, you are saying we lied about releasing funding, and you have mentioned entities, PESP, and everything. We can be able to go to that recording where we said we release funding to all these entities that we are mentioning. The processes that is actually followed is a process that we followed this time around this year. When we transfer funding to the entities, for instance, for their normal grant funding, it goes in terms of quarterly transfers. And at this point in time, we are sitting at 50% transfer to the entities. With regard to PESP, we haven't transferred the funding. Yes, it's been allocated to 2 entities, NFVF and NAC, this financial year, while the others are still continuing, the National Heritage Council, the National Museum, and which is the other one that I'm forgetting. There are 5 of them that were actually implementing the previous year. But this financial year, it's only the NAC and the NFVF. And the reasons why the PESP funding has actually not been transferred to them is basically, if you look at NFVF, for instance, the recipients of the 24-25 funding for PESP are still continuing. They have asked us to extend the closing of those projects to this current financial year. So we do not think it's a good idea, Honourable Member, to then transfer funding while there is a processing of a previous funding that the entity has actually received. So I am not aware of us having lied about releasing funds, but if there is such a record, Chair, we can be able to be held accountable for having lied, as you indicate. The reason, lastly, Chair, Honourable Member, and you are correct, we released funding to the recipients of the touring ventures. And the reason is not because we are prioritizing everything that is international, but we were recognizing the fact that if you look at the requirements, those people that had already been recommended at that particular time during the first round of the open call had secured international platforms for them to be able to go and exhibit, to be able to go and perform, etc. So it's not prioritization of an international program or what the Honourable Member called, but it's a recognition of the fact that if you have secured a platform and already you met the requirement and you were recommended, we didn't see any reason why we should then not allow that person, because securing that platform is not easy. It might not be easy for them to resecure any international platform in future. This is also the reason, Chairperson, why even though those were processed, because they did submit confirmation that they had secured the international platforms, which was the requirement. But we also, in the second call, allowed the touring venture applications that could have come from the second call being issued to also apply. I don't know whether I've left out anything that the Honourable Member actually asked about, but the colleagues can then assist. Those are the notes that I had actually taken.
They indicated they are fine.
Chair, the same prioritization, can she explain the same to the issue that I've addressed, that people who are doing festivals and what, they have to book artists in advance? It's the same thing as booking, securing a platform international. They are people that need to be paid. There are people who need to be paid upfront, deposits, to secure the dates. And when there's a change of dates in terms of announcing, in terms of distributing, those platforms have been lost. So they don't care about the local, they care about the international. That's what I mean.
Let me go to the hybrid platform. The Honourable Kobani, I am not sure, I haven't been informed whether there will be interpreters, but I know you can try your best, Honourable Kobani.
Can they respond to that one, Chair, first, before they go to Kobani? Can they respond to what happens to the locals?
Chair, the members are making a recommendation or a statement. Why don't we do the same? What I'm saying is that is what we prioritize at that time. That is what we decided, because we were seeing a situation where you have secured a platform internationally. To be able to secure that platform again would not be easy. Yes, indeed, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are undermining platforms that you have secured locally, but we had to look at how we prioritize. Again, wrong or right, but that is how we actually looked at it, honourable members.
Thank you, Dr. Kumalo.